Hi, in this video I'll show you how you can use the built-in PI framework to get something like the cross-site forgery token and update it whenever you're calling your methods. So the scenario that you normally would have is we have some PI system we're triggering our PI system with a SOAP call, and then we want to call this application with our token. And we have our PI stack here. And what we'll do is in our message mapping we'll add a UDF that is able to call this get method and get the response back, so we can use it in our token, in our post, and send the data in that way. So the way this works is in our message mapping, we will create a lookup function that will use a get token, and let's see that part. So here we have, let me just get the UDF, otherwise we do have it. Here we have the UDF, so we're using get channel to get the B2B channel. Then we just say we got the channel. So normally you would be able to pass this function in as a library or as a channel in as a component, but for some reason it's not possible with the REST channel. So there you just need to go use the old-fashioned approach for it. We send an empty XML payload because it needs something to work with, and obviously since it's a GET post it will not be delivered. And then we're just waiting for the response. We would read the payload of the response, and all that is in this response we will then take and set it to a dynamic attribute called token in the REST namespace. And this is important. You cannot use any namespace for setting dynamic attributes. They need to be in the REST namespace, otherwise the REST adapter will not be able to pick it up. And then we just put this in, and this is a return null or an empty string, and then we can put this into any part of our message mapping as we wanted to. So that was one part. So this is this part here. Then we will call our configuration of this, and go back here. So here we have the REST token, and so in our communication channel, you probably want to set your client authentication, stuff like that. I'm just using a simple mock service using SAP PI just to prove this. We set it as manual get. Not do anything, and then in our header we just add this cross-site forgery. I guess this should be spelled a little differently, and then just the parameter value fetch. So that is what we got in that perspective. Then we would look at the module, and I do have the module right here. So in the module we will look at the cross-site script token. We'll get the property from the REST adapter, and what we will do is we'll get the value, and we will set the payload as text, and then we'll actually just use this as the attribute for it. So the full response of this is actually just the token that we're getting back. That was. So now we got our token back here. Then in our message mapping, we obviously just set it as a dynamic attribute called token. And then in our flow, that's the wrong one. Here in our flow, and I set token, nothing special happen than the other ones. So here we are setting, so two things to note here. Here we're using the variable replacing. We're getting the adapter specific attribute, and that this is because, well, this is the internal name that's being used inside of it, so you can specify anything like this, and then you will get the token for it. And the token that we will save in, or we get from the dynamic attributes, is the one called token. So this is the one in the rest namespace. Then in our header we will specify the token, cross-site script for token, and then we'll just put in our value there. Then we would also use the ID we got from the document, and we'll get that just with an XPath expression. We'll use the manual post, and I think that's all we do have for this. So then we got our demo scenario. So I've created some mock services that will be called. So we are just sending the cross-site script value token demo as response, and then we got a post option here, beta value that will just return 200. So that's all good. And we will start the message in one of these. So we'll send this message. So for some reason I'm not able to log what's really happening in the SAP UI, but I guess it doesn't matter, because in our message monitoring, so if we take a look here, we can see we got this, and this is the token, or this is the full end-to-end message that we're sending. And if we have a look at this, we can see that it is calling the adapter here. We are setting the token value to this one, and here's our server URL that we're calling. And also we can check this token value we have, and here we can see that the module was called and we are getting the token value here. And because I've set locking on this, I will be able to see what is being returned back from this. So I'm just getting the token value, and there's no way to get the dynamic attributes from the payload of this lookup value. So that's, well, that's the reason why we are adding the module. So you need all of these components. You can find the code in the blog that accompanies this, so check a look at those codes and see how well they perform. So yeah, obviously there's room for improvement, but and if you're going to use this in a large scale environment, you may want to figure out a better way to do this. But I think for simple posts, this should be plenty. So thanks for watching. Bye.